This is the news on Press TV. Thank you so much for joining us. The political crisis in Tunisia is the top story this hour. The country's president, Zain al-Abidine Ben Ali, has left the country following weeks of deadly unrest. In a statement on national television, Prime Minister Mohamed Ghannouchi said that Ben Ali had left the country and that he had assumed power as interim president. Ghannouchi called on all Tunisians to unite and vowed to restore stability. Before his sudden departure, Ben Ali declared a state of emergency and promised to hold elections in 6 months' time. The army is now in control of Tunisia's main international airport.
In Tunisia, weeks of increasing political unrest and deadly violence has forced the president of the country, Zain al-Abidine Ben Ali, to leave the country, putting it in a state of uncertainty. Before leaving, Ben Ali sacked his government and called early elections within 6 months. The government has also declared a national state of emergency, banning public gatherings and authorizing security forces to shoot anyone who disobeys orders. The West African Tunisia has been grappling with weeks of unrest, triggered by rising food prices, unemployment and what's perceived as rampant corruption among its officials. In the latest demonstrations, the capital Tunis witnessed another day of violent protests, with police using batons and tear gas to disperse thousands who were demanding the resignation of the country's president, Ben Ali. The protesters were furious over the news of the killing of 13 more people during clashes with police on Thursday night.
You killed your people, leave immediately. We have had enough of promises, enough of lies.
It's too late. During a speech, there were people getting killed in Kairouan. We have no trust anymore.
The deaths came despite Ben Ali's promise to put an end to the use of live ammunition on protesters. The government says around 20 people have been killed in the clashes so far, but rights groups say the toll is more than 3 times that number. It seems the promises of creating more jobs and cutting food prices no longer satisfy protesters, who are now demanding radical reforms in the political system. After several years of relative calm, a forceful uprising has surprised many people. Some analysts believe this has not happened overnight and that there has been a feeling of smouldering resentment resulting from 23 years of dishonesty, corruption and oppression by the ruling system.
If you've just joined us, we are following the developing situation in Tunisia, the political crisis that has gripped the country for a month now. It came to a head today, Friday, January 14th, 2011. We have seen the president of the country, Ben Ali, leave the country for Malta. Some reports are saying that he might be on his way to Paris, France. It all happened today. Now the Prime Minister, Mohamed Ghannouchi, is in power. He is the interim president now. The country is now being run by him and the military that is in control of the main international airport. There is a heavy security presence as well. Massive crowds of people have taken to the streets, have been demanding the president to relinquish power. That has happened today. He has left the country. Before he did that, he dismissed the government and announced early elections to be held in 6 months' time. Let's give you a timeline of what happened in the past month. On the 17th of December last year, a young man called Mohamed Bouaziz, a 26, some say 27-year-old graduate of university, he set himself on fire because, well, he was selling vegetables in a central town in Tunisia when he was confronted by the authorities, who told him that he could not continue doing that unless he got permission for it. and that set off the massive protest over unemployment. Bouaziz's protest it touched off a wave of unrest and clashes in that small town in an impoverished area of the country. 2 were killed in those clashes, and later on, in January 2011, this year, on this site, more than 50 people were reportedly killed in 3 days of rioting in the central Kasserine region. That according to a trade union representative, but the authorities, of course, put that number at 21. The president, Ben Ali, slammed what he called the terrorist acts by hoodlums, but also pledged to create 300,000 extra jobs in a television address. But that did not appease the protesters, who continued chanting slogans against him and calling on him and the ruling elite to step down.